Alright, we're gonna try this again. Um, this is the second time of trying to get this message out. Um, Something does not want this message to come out. Um, Delay, delay, delay. Um, Obstacles, things, interferences keep happening. So that might be relevant for somebody. You might be having a lot of interferences, a lot of delays, a lot of interactions. Um, I mentioned it on the other video, and here comes the coughing again. This is like deep. So I think this is going to be some deep knowledge. I already know that a lot of it's going to be some deep knowledge, but I already know more is going to end up channeling out, which is, I don't know, because I already got my like 4 pages here. Granted, it's a smaller book, but still. But they told me we'll get through it pretty quickly, and that the ones who know will know. They'll feel it. They won't just hear it; they'll feel it. So if this message is for you, you're not gonna just hear it. You're gonna feel. You're gonna feel it. You might even get chills up your legs, a weird sensation up your spine. Yeah, you're just gonna have this feeling, this knowing. Because whoever this for, you're higher in level. I mean, this could be for several people. I say for whoever it's for, but I mean, we're. Yeah, this is deep. Elton John, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be, let it be. Was coming through. His frequency it uplifts the soul, and he's a truth speaker. Elton John is a truth speaker. He's from another star. He's another star soul. He's just like us. He is from the stars. He is not originally from Earth. There are some souls that are born on Earth, like, they start here on Earth. All souls start up, though. I mean, souls are born up there in the higher realms. That's where they're actually born. They're not. You go through like a rebirth when you come through the portal to come onto Earth. It's but you're already born. You're born as a soul, as a spirit. You're that first and foremost. That is your true original form. That is how you were born. So, Elton John, he is a star soul. He is from the stars. Highly connected. Highly connected. He was very open, open to everything and all. So much love in him. Heart-based. Very, very heart-based. So, you're going to be a very, very heart-based person. You might be hearing a lot of Elton John songs. You might be hearing that song. If you are, it's the universe right now trying to tell you, just let it be. Whatever's going on, just let it be. Try not to give it too much attention. Don't let your vibration. I don't think you will. Whoever you are, I think you're pretty high vibe. For some of the things that have come through, you have to be a pretty high vibe soul, because there's just no way. Yeah, because until I raised my frequency, none of this stuff came through. So you have to be at a certain frequency in order for certain things to come through, and everybody can get to those frequencies. It's just a matter if they choose to. That's why there's chosens, they chose to. But a lot of times you choose before you even get here. So, I know I hear people say contract, and yeah, but it's a contract that you. How can I put that? It's a contract you make with yourself. a remembrance that you want to go through. And believe it or not, some souls, they want the challenge. And I know that sounds ridiculous. But some are masters. Like, they've already mastered all the other realms. Like, these are very, very high level masters. Yeah. Time travelers. Yep. Jump timelines, know how to do portals, know how to open their own portals. These are high level souls. They've mastered. They've mastered all the realms. See, Earth is the densest of them all. Not the darkest, the most dense. It's the heaviest. And yeah, this one was a hard one. This one was a hard one for even the high level souls. And they put themselves through every challenge. And some of you have literally gone through every single thing that a soul could go through. I mean, like, everything. There's not much. And if there is, it's only like one or two things that you haven't experienced yet. That doesn't mean you will. You could have experienced those in a previous life. And, you know, not many souls make it through Earth School the first time. Even the ascendants usually have to come back because there's so many lessons to learn. So many things that you can learn here on Earth that you can't learn in other places. So a soul likes to come here, and it likes to learn, because that's what the real school is, you know, the soul school, the learning of the soul. So a lot of higher ups and stuff, they'll come here, masters and stuff like that, and it'll take them quite a few times, and it's not right or wrong for anybody, you know. Even masters have a hard time, so remember that. They don't master it the first time. That's not how they become masters. They become masters because they never gave up, and they wanted to master it, you know. And they didn't do it for the clout, the glory. They did it for their soul, for themselves, you know. They wanted to master it for themselves. So they become ascendant masters. They ascend because they're the student and the teacher, you know, their whole life. But, yeah. Anyway, back to over here. Mother Mary. You might be waking up with songs playing in your head. Elton John was very connected to Mother Mary. Mother Mary is very important. Mary Magdalene, both Yeshua, very, very, very important. Not many people know the real story, the true. We'll put it that way. Not real, true. Because truth is what's important, isn't it? I mean, it really is one of the most important things in the world. Truth. Without it, what are you? You don't even know who you are until you find your truth, do you? Yeah. And that's anybody, you know. You got to figure out who you are, your truth. And once you figure out you and your truth, well, you don't have to worry because nobody can tell you about you. You already know. You're very self-aware. But that doesn't mean you're better or you're smarter, you know. It just means you're more aware. Which is not a bad thing, but it can seem like a bad thing a lot of times. Because a lot of people aren't aware. They aren't walking around with any type of self-awareness. Like, they'll be aware of everybody else. What this person's doing, that person's doing, what this person said, how much money that person's making, the kind of car that person drives, the kind of house that person's in. Oh, look at their dog. I bet they spent $1,000 on it. Look at that person. They got all this. But they never look at themselves. They're too worried about everybody else and what everybody else is doing instead of their own damn selves. And that's where a lot of people go wrong. They don't look at themselves. That inner inspection. You know, you got to inspect that inside too. You just can't be vigilant of everything else that's going on around you. No, 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 no. This is the most important one. You. You. Yeah. You know that, though. You know that. I think you've been very self aware almost your whole entire life. Maybe too self aware. To the point where you just didn't. You didn't fit in. You didn't ever have a clique, a tribe. I mean, you did. You just didn't know. Everybody has tribes, no matter the frequency. That doesn't mean they're good tribes, but everybody has tribes. Um, just some are further away, is what I'm seeing. Like I just saw back at the, in my head, they just flashed me back when, in the beginning of time, when there wasn't as many people on the earth and there would be continents spread out and stuff, and you would have one tribe and it would only be that tribe, but they wanted more people in their tribe, so people would split off. You know, certain people, they would leave the tribes and they would go and they would find their tribes and they would travel and they would make it long distances. I mean, some of these families, maybe not the ones who originally started it, but it continued through the families, and these families, they traveled and traveled and traveled. They became the travelers, you know, and then they spread throughout the land. And they interacted with other people, and they picked up different types of knowledge and wisdom, and then they spread that, and that's how everything gets spread. Is, you know, people, you spread out, you go out, you meet other people, you interact, you learn their stuff, you learn their culture, you learn their language, you learn how they are, you learn them as a soul, on a soul level, and you integrate, and you also give. You know, it's a give and take. You teach them, they teach you. It's how it's supposed to be. You're always supposed to be a teacher and a student at the same time in every single phase of your life. And we used to know that. We used to do that. And we don't do that anymore. No, everybody sticks with their own clique, their own kind. Ew. Look at you. Go away. You're not good enough for us. Oh, you're not smart enough? Oh, you're not artistic enough? Oh, you can't do that well enough? Well, then you don't make that much money? I mean, come on, people. Really? Really? Like, and I mean, I get it. It's programmed. People are programmed from a very, very young age. I mean, from the time they're little, from their parents to their friends to their teachers to the TV, the books, the music, everything is programmed. These girls, you know, they see these other girls looking one way, their hair done this way, this makeup, these nails, these outfits, these shoes, these purses. For me, it's exhausting. I've never been one for caring about that. I've never been a materialistic person. I mean, yeah, I have stuff, but I'm really not attached to anything I have. The things that are most important to me, money could never buy. So, I mean, I like stuff. I like having things, don't get me wrong. I like going and spending money just like anybody else. But I'm not attached to any of it, and I never have. And you know, it's probably because of my childhood. You know, I've lost everything I had several times in my life from a very, very, very young age, and so I think I learned a detachment from a very young age because of that. I've always been able to let people, places, things. I just always just been able to let it go and move on. And usually I don't even give a second thought about it until something comes up. and then it'll bring up a memory, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's right. And meanwhile, I haven't thought about that in 15 years. You know what I mean? My brain don't work like most people's. I know that because most people aren't like that. And I got called weird, and I got called all kinds of things growing up because of how I am. But that's okay. That's all right. You know, I always thought something was wrong with me too. So I guess the rest of the world was going to think so too. You know what I mean? It's a projection. It's a projection. I didn't know who I was. How was anybody else going to know who I was, you know? I couldn't see me, so why would anybody else see me? You know, it was all a projection. It was all for me. But yeah. Anyway, I just went off on a tangent, and I don't know why that came out, but there you go. Whoever that was for. Not meaning to that come out. Anyway, back to Mother Mary. Mother Mary is talking with you through songs. These are going to be songs that you're waking up with, all right? Like, you wake up with these songs in your head already. That is Mother Mary, Yeshua, Mary, that's that line speaking with you. Jesus' line is talking with you. Pick up the phone, is what I just heard. Pick up the phone. So whoever you are, pick up the phone. You hear the song, look it up. I don't care if you think you know all the words to it. I don't care if you do know all the words to it. They want you to listen to it because not only do you need to hear, you need to feel. So when you're hearing, oh my gosh. All right, hold on. Because my throat just went really dry like sand. And yes, I know I should be drinking out of a plastic bottle. My other cup is dirty, and I have animals, and I have cat hair. And as much as I love my animals, I don't like eating and drinking their fur. Yeah, I don't like hair in my mouth. You need to actually feel the music. So they want you to listen to it. And if you want to, they said listen to it a couple times. Excuse me, confirmation burp. Yes, listen to it a couple times because they want you to really feel these songs because it's activating something in you. Something in the frequency, excuse me, confirmation, is, it's I forgot the word I was just going to say. Upgrading the frequency. It's a frequency upgrade. So you need to be listening, all right? It said don't just hear the words, feel the underlying frequency. That's it. Feel the underlying frequency in it and tune into that, to the frequency. They want you to learn how to tune into frequencies. And that's, yeah, I love frequencies. I was always the type of person, half the time I couldn't tell you what most of the words are. Even now, I'll have a song that'll start playing in my head, and I can usually only remember a couple of the words, but I'll remember the beat and the frequency, like the feeling of that song. And that's the way I've always been. That's why I've always listened to the kind of music. I don't like the heavier type music. I never have. The loud basses, the loud music, those frequencies just, oh no, it makes my skin crawl just thinking about it. I have gone to concerts that were, like that. And at that time, in my life, I did enjoy it. I can honestly say I did. I went to Kiss twice. And I very much enjoyed it. But both times I went, the phase of life that I was in lower levels, When I was younger, like real young, I didn't listen to that kind of music. I hated it. My brother would blast it, and I hated it. I would try to drown him out with my pop music, my dance music, as he's listening to the heavy metal, head-banging crap. I just always thought it was so just dark. I just didn't really like it. And I didn't need somebody to tell me it was. The way it felt. I didn't like the way it felt. So some of you might be like that too. Might have never really been into the heavier type. You've always might have been in a lighter. Not saying that you haven't gone through your dark phases, because that's a different story. But your baseline was always light. Even if it did get dimmed for a while. Like, even if your light bulb got unscrewed for a little while and the light just was dim, eventually when you screwed your light bulb back in, that's what they're showing me, so that's what I'm putting, the brightness went back up, because you now had a full connection. But some of you did. You unscrewed your light bulb for a little while. I know I did. I mean, okay. They have jokes going through my head now. We're not getting into that. 1023. In any order of these numbers together is a special coding in your blueprint, they said. You may see them everywhere, then less and less until not anymore. When this happens, that means your activation is complete. Some are seeing many, many, many different sequences all at once. That's because your upgrades are massive and your mission is different. Not special, just different. Some souls signed up to awaken more than others, so they could help awaken the masses. Their soul blueprint isn't the same. These are extremely high-level beings who have mastered every other realm and kept... hold on, because I was writing really, really fast. I mean, I was trying to write so fast, and my hands started hurting. So, yeah. Some places are like chicken scratch, and then I had to stop and do my hand and then write again, and so yeah. Some are extremely high level beings who have mastered every other realm and kept their humanity, which is why they are chosen to awaken all of humanity, because theirs could never be lost. I thought that was flipping cool. So whoever you are, you have never lost your humanity. Like Jesus type energy, Yeshua energy, like very, 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 very high level energy. You never lost your humanity in any of the worlds you ever went, in any of the circumstances, and Earth was the last test for you. This was the last test. You had to pass the Earth school to awaken all of this. And the next part, they're getting into dragons. So this is very, very interesting. It's like a tale unfolding. Yeah, you never lost your humanity. You were able to keep your heart open the whole entire time, through every dimension, through every realm. Some of you have past lives that are starting to come back online. You're going to start having memories, or certain star systems are going to start popping up in your field of vision, whether it's through your YouTube feed. I don't know how. I really don't. You might see a book somewhere. You might go somewhere and see a tarot deck and never seen tarot decks or even thought about it, and it just calls to you. Somehow or another, different star systems are going to, excuse me, are going to be getting a hold of you. However they do it. You know, it's funny. They had me put on this, I'm not going to show you the bottom half. But they had me put this on. Remember who you are. And there's a portal. It's you stepping through a portal. Look at that. You can see it. Look how lit up you are. Look how surrounded by the golden light of source consciousness. Whoever you are, you just stepped through a massive portal. There's flamingos and palm trees. It actually looks very tropical. You might be in a tropical region. Oh, I just realized that the Flamingos are going up and down out of the water. There's a waterfall. Matter of fact, yesterday's reading had a waterfall in it, didn't it? You had a waterfall of blessings coming in. Your life is about to become so peaceful, serene, pure magic. Because you finally figured out you were the magic. You were the portal. She's looking at herself. She finally figured out it was her. It was her the whole time. She's the portal. She, he, it's energy. Please don't ever take gender seriously. Not in energy talk. Not in energy talk. There is in everyday 3D. Yes, y'all can do whatever you want. But energy. Let me clarify that. Energy. There is no gender in energy. There's no gender. Yeah, you've done it. Whoever you are, you have stepped through. 263. 263. 263. Alright, we're about to get in with some sleeping dragons here. Surprised they didn't have me have more come on about you with Awaken Humanity. They kind of stayed quiet about that afterwards. Usually I start getting downloads. But not that one. So apparently they're not going to speak too much on that. Maybe they'll circle back around at a different later one. But for right now, that's all they were telling me for right now. And when I say they, just so y'all know who I'm talking about, because I have a feeling some of you were kind of curious. I work with many. I work with the Galactic Council. I work with gods and goddesses. I work with elementals. I work with deities. I work with the magical and the mystical, the unseen. There's the universe, Lord, or as I call it, source consciousness. I have a lot that I work with, and it depends on what I'm doing to what I'm working with. Sometimes it's the elementals, sometimes it's the magical, sometimes it's the planets. I like to work with the planets too. It just depends, and I'm usually guided. Usually it's just instincts. I just follow my instincts. I didn't always, but I do now. I trust myself beyond anything anymore. But I can trust myself because I trust in my team. You know, it takes a team to make the dream. It really does. And you have to have a team. I mean, I work with my ancestors. I work with angels. I work with other religions. Whatever I'm feeling called to at the moment, I work with. And if they tell me to do something, I do it. And so far, I understand why a lot of things in my past didn't work. Because I wasn't listening. But you know, you live and learn. That's what this life is about. Living and learning, growing and continuing, not staying stuck, not going through the same loop. Not going through the same loop. No. You're supposed to bust out of those loops. You're supposed to recognize the patterns. Excuse me, confirmation. Yeah. You're supposed to recognize the patterns. Excuse me. Some of y'all also might be letting out a lot of air. You're releasing a lot of density and toxic energy. Like if you're belching a lot and they're like really, really loud, or you're sneezing, that's another one. And gas. They said that's another one. So some of you could have a lot of gas. You could be doing all three. Sorry, they just showed me that somebody coughing, farting, and sneezing all at the same time. If that's happening to you, I'm so sorry. And it's really not funny, but it kind of is. At least the vision in my head was like flipping hilarious. You're expelling energy, lower density energy. Some of you, it's for your own self, but some of you, you're helping with the world. Like you have a lot of that you're transmuting through your body, not for just you, but for other people too. And as you're transmuting it, because you are a natural transmuter, you transmute the energy and stuff, and as it's coming through and it's coming out in large ways, like a large belch or a really loud fart, or you know, a sneeze that makes you feel like your head's going to fly off your shoulders. When that happens, that is a huge amount of density being blown out, being released. The volcanoes are doing it right now. The earth is doing, Mother Gaia is doing it. A lot of energy is being released right now. Yeah. A lot of density, a lot of lower. A lot of people are waking up. A lot of people are waking up. And I know that's something you hear a lot, but a lot of people actually are. A lot of people are starting to become a little bit more self-aware. And that's the key, because if you're not self-aware, you can't raise your frequency, and if you can't raise your frequency, you can't move to another level, and so you kind of stay stuck in the same density, and that's not. It's like being stuck in mud, you know. No matter how hard you try, the longer and longer you stay there, the longer that you're gonna rip half your foot off trying to get it up out of the mud. Because you don't let it sink. Oh, that's a bad example. No. Oh, they just showed me the never-ending story with Sebastian and stuff. That's so... But it's true. It's true. It's so heartbreaking. It's true. You know, the longer you stay stuck in that mud, the more it's going to pull you down and pull you down and pull you down until eventually... you're not gonna make it back out. You know, you're you're planted that way. Oh, that's such an off. That movie made me cry. I love that movie, The Neverending Story. Still to this day, love that movie. All right, back to what we're doing here. Sorry. No, I'm not sorry, because they have me do it. So, no, I'm not apologizing for them having me channel like that. No, we're not doing that. We're not apologizing. Next, we have the sleeping dragons. They were waiting on the fire dragon to awaken, and it has awoke. So now all the giants are awake. So now the awakening begins. Ascendant Masters, 10th degrees, Grand Fire Trines. And I mentioned about Grand Fire Trines in one of my readings the other day. I really need to start writing notes. I have plenty of pads. I need to pull one out and start writing notes as I'm doing my readings. I'd probably start channeling more that way too, because automatic writing. Yeah. Alright. Go back to that, they said. Alright, so somebody with a Grand Fire Trine has finally awoken. And they were the last one they were waiting for. Everybody else had already woke up. And this last dragon needed to wake. But this dragon didn't know they were a dragon. No. This dragon had been camouflaged its whole life. Because when it was very little, just a little dragon, freshly being born, breaking free from its egg. Everybody else saw it was a dragon and knew it was a dragon before this dragon knew it was a dragon. So everybody that saw this dragon spent their whole life trying to make sure this dragon never saw its fire. They tried everything. Every person this dragon came in contact with, not a single person could handle that fire from that dragon. Every single person, family, friends, didn't matter, co-workers, everybody would see the fire that was in that dragon, and they wanted to make sure that it never got lit. So this dragon, at a very, very young age, it kind of lost its fire. It forgot how to light its own flame. It forgot who it was. It forgot it was a dragon. Kind of like the ugly duckling. And then they've brought that up before. Kind of like the ugly duckling. Yep. This dragon forgot it was a dragon because it was surrounded by nothing but snakes. So it thought it was a snake. And it camouflaged itself like a snake. But see, snakes shed their skin. At least this snake did. Because this snake constantly kept outgrowing every situation it was put in. Because it wasn't a snake. But it didn't know that. It thought it was a snake. It thought it was just like everybody else around him. Because that's all it knew. It had no fire to light the way. Its element, what made it wasn't there. Its element had been stolen. Or at least put out. Which is the same thing. Because when you steal somebody else's flame, you steal their fire, you put it out, you're stealing it. You're trying to take it for yourself. Because there's no other reason why you would put that flame out on somebody else. Unless you wanted it for yourself, or you just are a very bad person. But this dragon, this particular dragon, this dragon went through hell. This dragon went through every single person that it knew coming against them and trying to bury them. Yeah. Red's an important color. You might have actually never liked red. You might have stayed away from red. Yep. Because you got too much attention when you wore red. Red made you feel weird. It made you feel uncomfortable. Like you could be seen. And being seen was uncomfortable. So you might have stayed away from red because you were scared of the attraction. You were scared of being seen, drawing attention to yourself. You were scared of that fire. You were scared of your own fire. You were scared of your own fire. The world made you scared of your own fire. Wow. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened to you. I heard in my head, I'm not. You're not, are you? You're not sorry that you went through everything you went through. You're actually grateful. I just felt a bunch of gratitude in my heart. You have a very grateful heart for every single thing you went through, for every single person who betrayed you. You have gratitude towards them. That's awesome. Never wished back. Never looked back. No longer the way. So when something would close, you would just walk away. You had no fire. You didn't really have a fight. You didn't have fight in you because you had no fire. So when people would come at you, you would take off. You would get those wings, your dragon wings, and you would just fly off and search for new land. You lost your voice because of that too, didn't you? You lost yourself. God, people really did put you through a lot. I can feel it. I can relate. It's funny. Your energy I relate to. Very easily. It's amazing energy. It's calm. It's peaceful. It just is. It's like neutral. It's just the void. Your energy is the void. Yeah. Your energy is the void. Oof. Alright, what else do we have here? Sorry. Because I still got a bunch to go through, and I'm already at 41:54. Oof, we might have to make a part 2 on this one. And I have to pee, actually, so you know what? I'm sorry. Y'all gonna have to hold on. Alright, I'm back. Sorry, I had to pee. I've been drinking a lot of water. Okay. When I got up, the timer, when I paused it, it was 42:04. That might mean something to you. And then the clock said 3:24, so 3:24. And then the actual time, because that clock is set to a different time, don't ask, was 2:39. So any of those numbers, because they had me look at them and actually write them down, so those are going to be important for somebody. Confirmation. Oh, do I have another one coming? 3 for all 3 numbers. So you got 3 confirmations on all 3 numbers, and it's 43:04. All right, back to what we were talking about. I don't remember exactly what I was talking about when I paused it. So, we were talking about the dragons and the awakening. Okay, yes. All right, next page. The universe has been guiding you because your blueprint is that of the stars. You are, I heard ascendant star. Okay, I've never heard that one before. Ascending or ascendant star. Ascending star. You are an ascending star. That's what it is. You are an ascending star. Thank you. Something about the Grand Trine, because they brought it up again. So there is something definitely about a Grand Fire Trine in your chart. Like you have a triangle in your chart. Triangles are very important. Egypt could be very important. And then they gave me some songs, actually from my playlist. And y'all have to excuse my hair. I'm growing it back out. I chopped it all off. And we're regrowing fresh, new. All the old gone, starting with brand new. So that might be important too. You might be cutting everything and starting with brand new, which they're saying is a good idea. So if you're planning on doing that, they're like, yes, 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 yes. All right, so these are the songs. You're going to have to look them up yourself, but they want you to listen to them. They are going to have me make a playlist and put it on my community thing of these songs. So, but I do suggest you go listen to them because it might be a day or two. And, but apparently these songs are very important. And something about the order that it's coming out. Oh, and Master of the Universe. I was supposed to put an arrow to guide that up there because that's supposed to go with that. Masters of the Universe, He-Man, is very important for you. You might have watched it when you were younger. You might have always thought you were, I have the power. You know how he does and stuff. I used to love He-Man. There is a connection with He-Man and Masters of the Universe, tigers, and swords. Excalibur, they just threw Excalibur into my head. I mentioned Merlin the other day, with the lightning. Yep. So, Masters of the Universe is important. I'm seeing the cartoon. I have not seen the movie. I kind of want to see it, not gonna lie. I have not watched it yet. But what I saw in my head was the cartoon from back in the 80s, early 90s days. So, alright. The songs is Girl on Fire with Alicia Keys. Trust Fall, which they want me to talk about that song. Trust Fall from Pink. Just Like Fire from Pink. This Is Me. I don't remember who sings it, but it is from, oh my god, it's one of my favorite movies. The Greatest Showman. This Is Me is important. Unstoppable from Sia, I believe it is. And Zootopia's song, Try Everything from Shakira. So those are apparently some important songs. They might resonate with your life or how you feel or the empowerment. I'm hearing empowerment. They wanted me to mention something about This Is Me and Zendaya. I don't know if you've seen the movie or not, but in The Greatest Showman, there is a spot where Zendaya and Zac Efron, I don't remember their names in the movie, they go to see a show, and when they're out in public and other people see him with her, he feels like he's being judged, and he doesn't want to be judged by his peers. So because he doesn't want to be judged by his peers, he lets go of her hand and acts like they're not together or he's not with her because he's so worried about what everybody else is going to think instead of how he feels and what he thinks. He wasn't using his heart, he was only using his mind. And Zendaya, who I feel like is you, whoever I'm talking to, and it doesn't mean you're female, I'm just talking about the energy of her in that movie. When they show her, she takes her hand and she walks off and she leaves. She's like, screw this, I'm not staying around somebody that can't even see me or want to be seen with me. So she leaves. And then you see where she is out in the middle of the tent at the circus and stuff doing her act. They're dancing, and this song comes on, This Is Me, and you see her and she bends over and she starts doing her shoulders, and the way she looks over and she looks at Zac Efron, that look in her eyes They want you to see that look in her eyes, that determination, that fire, that this is who I am, and you're going to either take me as I am or you're not going to take me at all. That's the kind of fire that you finally found. You found your fire. Somebody else caused you to find your fires. Oh. See, those two ended up together, and I'm getting chills all over my body. Ooh, okay, I'm going the right way. Yeah, they ended up together. Oh, come on, chills. They ended up together at the end because she knew. She loved him. She knew. She knew who he was. But she saw him. She knew he was going to have a hard time. She knew how people were. She knew how it was going to look. She tried to keep it from happening, but her heart won. And she gave it a shot. And she ended up with her heart broken. And she's like, nah. Two different worlds. Now I'm seeing them when they're swinging around on the ropes. And they're singing that song. Two different worlds. You got awakened by heartache. Your fire came back because somebody was able to crack you wide open. Your own soul. Your own soul, your mirror, was the one who had to crack you open. That was the one who had to break you wide open for your fire to come back. The one who cared more about what everybody else thought than what he felt. What everybody else was going to think instead of his gut. Instead of listening to himself. He chose wrong. Not really. Not really. But to you, he chose wrong. But he actually chose right because you needed to be cracked open. You two signed up for that before you even came in. And I say he, she, it doesn't matter, reverse it, it's energy. I'm using it, this movie in my head as, because that's what they're showing me, as an example for whoever you are. This is going to relate. You are somebody who was never seen. You never felt seen. You never felt like people accepted you for who you were. You always felt judged. You always felt like you were the outcast, the wallflower, the black sheep, whatever you want to call it, the weirdo, whatever label name you want to put it on. You were always different, yes. Yeah, you were always different. You were never like everybody else, and you were never supposed to be. You were never meant to be. You were never meant to become like the rest of this world because you are not of this world. You are of the stars. You are of the universe, the galaxies. Oh, beautiful, beautiful galaxies. You're very high level. You know, you're realizing. You're realizing, slowly, but steadily, you're realizing just who you are. Your strengths, your powers, your heart, your boundaries, your loves, what you will and won't take. You have strong morals. Very, very strong morals. Pure heart. They just have me look down. It says, pure heart. Oh, okay, they want me to read this. Alright. After the songs they had me doing stuff, they had me write this, and now they want me to say it after all that. You have the belief that no one should go without, no matter who they are, is a testament to your pure heart. So no matter what people did to you, you never want it the same. Jesus' true teachings is what I heard. So you are a teacher of Jesus' true teachings. Not the ones, not the ones they tell you. Um, the true. You're a truth seeker. You're a truth speaker. You don't take things at face value, and you're not easily sucked into things. That's why you were able to make it through so many things that you made it through. Because you don't get sucked in to a lot. You really don't have fear. Not really. You do, but not really. Your fears are different than most people's. It's not the same. Your fear's not the same. You had a fear of yourself, not a fear of the world. That's the difference. Everybody else fears the world, but not themselves. You feared yourself. Your own strength, your own power, your own recognition, I just heard. You feared everything about yourself. Not anymore, though. Nope. No. Because you're the girl on fire. Or guy. Like I said, it's energy. I'm looking at a word. You put it in your situation. Besides, you have both anyway. I know I have masculine and feminine energy in me. I can be either or. Like a switch. Yeah. Your world was on fire, and you took a trust fall. And you went into the fire, just like fire. You walked through fire, and you became fire. You found out who you were with the whole "this is me." You finally figured out who you were. And then you flippin' became unstoppable. A Porsche with no brakes. You knew what it took. You knew what it took to fool everybody. Yeah. You knew what it took. Yep, I just heard sunglasses on. Shifting gears. You're taking off. And then with the Zootopia, try everything. I think that's what you did. Or you're doing. You're trying everything. Why not? Why not? Just because I can. Why not? That is your thought and belief on everything. Why not? Why can't I? The universe is the limit. And I am the universe. So why can't I? I just heard, I want it, I got it. Who is that? Ariana Grande? Ariana Grande's song? I think that's who that is. I want it, I got it. Yeah, you figured it out. You figured out how, when you want something, how to get it. And dance like Shakira. Pink song. I'm never not gonna dance again. Yeah. I'm still working on opening up my throat chakra for singing. Slowly. It's still kind of closed up. I used to love to sing. I would sing all the time. But when I was younger and stuff, I let the voices of others override my own. And so I locked it away for a very long time. Kept it repressed. But it's slowly coming back. We'll get it there. We're getting everything else where we want it. We'll get that too. No doubt. Somebody's about to bag it up. And I don't mean in a whatever kind of way. I mean like a bag of money. Like somebody's about to bag it up. I'm hearing Yo Diggity. And I know what that song's about, but that's not the meaning I'm getting behind it. Somebody's about to bag it up. Like, it's going to be delivered with a bow. Pure heart. They just have me keep looking down. I keep seeing pure heart. Your testament. Your testament's going to reach a lot of people. Your teachings need to be taught. You're going to help wake a lot of people. I don't know if you realize that yet. But you have mastered the universe. You and the universe are one. You know the secrets of the universe. Yeah, you're going to do a lot of good. Whoever you are. Hopefully I don't get water all over me. I'm going to open these. Water comes. Oh, no. Yay. As I'm looking up, I'm seeing 10. And then I blinked and I saw 10. And then I blinked and I saw 10. So you could be seeing a lot of 10, 10, 10s, or I just heard 3s. You just had me add the 3 ones together. Be seeing 3s. I don't know why they're making that relevant. I guess because I just looked over and saw another 10 somewhere else. So yeah, you could definitely be seeing 10, 10s. You have a lot that's coming to an end, but that's great. Because what happens at the ending? You have a whole new story, a whole new beginning. So where one book closes, you have a whole nother book that opens up. And we like reading books, don't we? Books are fun. I do like me my books. I like books. I want to write books too. Like, I have books in my head. Eventually I'll get them down. I'm hoping all the lost poems that I had in my head, that at the time I didn't have paper or anything to put them down with, because that's when it usually happens. It's when I have nothing, and then they're gone. Somebody else in the collective probably picks it up. Kind of like Michael Jackson and Prince. You know, Michael Jackson had a point with that. That does happen. That's like you'll think of something and somebody else later on. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. McDonald's, any drive-through, any of those fast food places, which I don't eat those places and stuff, but you know how they have those cups, and you get like chicken nuggets and stuff like that. I know somebody who mentioned the fact that they should put a little sauce holder on the side right here, so that when you're holding it, you got your sauce right there and you can just dip it. Did that person do anything with that idea? No. They sat on it and sat on it and sat on it, and then guess what? Lo and behold, fast food places started having those containers where you put the sauce right there for dipping. The person was given the idea. It could have been their $1 million investment, but they didn't do anything with it. They sat on it. They procrastinated. They avoided it. So it all depends on who jumps in, who picks up that case, you know, and decides to open it. Because you got to open the case. You know, somebody can hand you something. It's like a horse to water. You know, you can lead a horse to water. You can drown it in that water. I don't suggest doing that. Please don't do that. My cat is meowing at the door if you hear something. Teddy bear. Teddy bear. Teddy bear. Teddy bear. Um, yeah, there she is. Um, you can drown them in the water, and that's a metaphor. Um, and they're still not going to drink. You know what I mean? So, um, I don't even know where I was with this. I got distracted with my cat. I lost it. Connection's gone. I'm sorry. That's like gone. Maybe it'll come back. Maybe it won't. But for now, it's. Oh, thank you. Thank you. The cups. Yes. Don't procrastinate. When you get an idea on something, do it. Then. Because it's only going to stay with you 48 hours. That's what I heard. 48 hours. It's only going to stay with you for like 48 hours. If you haven't done something with it by then, written it down, actually acted upon it, anything, if you haven't grounded it in any way, somebody else is going to get it. And then that's going to be the person who gets everything that you wanted from that idea, but you decided not to take or jump on because you just didn't have the... Somebody else is going to. So those ideas, work on them, do them. If it's being given to you, it's for a reason. All right. Yeah. I don't know if there's anything else. I think that's about it, to be honest. Yeah. Yep, that's it. There's nothing else. I went over all their notes. It didn't take as long as I thought it was going to, honestly. We're just over a little over an hour. So that works. Oh, here's something, and I don't know if I'm going to be really getting into it. I think I'm just going to be saying this real quick. The consciousness that related to that version of your life is gone. Let it, grieve it. Some of you, you're stepping into a whole new world, a whole new reality. Certain things, certain people, aren't going to be able to. Not where you're going. It's not because they can't eventually get there. It's just everyone makes choices. Everyone makes their own choices. And people's choices are what gets them where they go. So, that's just how it works. But yeah. All right, so anyway, ideas, if you get them, grieve your old timelines. You have to grieve it to release it. You got to feel it to let it go. So whatever comes up that you're going to be grieving about your old past life, that you're getting ready to let go of and stuff, make sure you let yourself feel it completely. Not just a little, because it's just going to keep coming back. So you might as well just like a tidal wave through you. If you can just do that, sit in the shower, whatever, just let the tidal wave hit you and just let it wash over you like you're under a waterfall. Let the water cleanse you. Yeah, they showed me a waterfall. Let the water cleanse you. All right. But some of you're going to be grieving your old life that you're getting ready to leave behind. So make sure you let yourself grieve it. All right. All right. I think I'm going to leave it here. Y'all have a good one. I hope whoever this is for, it finds you. It'd be nice, if you comment, like, subscribe. You don't have to at all. You don't have to do any of that, to be honest. I just want to make sure you get this message. And I know you will, because that is the intention behind it. Mine and theirs. And they wouldn't have given it to me to put out if it wasn't going to find the one it was for. So, all right. Y'all have an amazing one. I hope to see you back again. Might be channeling, might be cards. I don't know. But until then, you have a blessed one. Sending you love. Bye.